This is going to be a video about graphing in the calculator. When we have two sets of data right here, like in this table, and we want to graph it, you can graph it by hand, but you can also graph it by using the graphing calculator. Now, before you begin, you're going to want to clear the memory in your calculator. If I were you, I would get out a piece of paper so that you can write down these notes and have them. When you go into the calculator, you want to start by clearing the memory so that you can go back to all the default settings. Kind of like if your iPod messes up, you can go back and change it to all the default and settings and be able to start from the beginning. So by doing that, you're going to press the second button, the plus sign, 7, 1, and 2. So for example, I'll pull up my calculator. I'm going to press the second button, the plus sign, 7, 1, 2. Then you're going to see where it says RAM cleared. Okay, with that information, again, make sure that you have that written down and make sure that you try that first. Next, to be able to graph these this information, we're going to have to put it into our stat plot. The way you do that, you put your points into L1 and L2. You're going to press stat and enter, and this is the screen you're going to see. Enter the x coordinates into L1 and the y coordinates into L2. Let me pull up my calculator here. I'm going to press stat, there's stat, and enter. And then you'd put your points into L1 and L2. Let's go ahead while we're doing this. Let's just practice with this one, like 8.5, 9.17, and you'll press enter. 6.25, press enter. 6 and enter. 5 and enter. 6 and enter. I'll arrow over to the side. 1323, press enter. 661. 551. 500. Oh, make sure you press enter. 353 and 309. Now the first thing I would tell you is to make sure that these are even right here. Okay, let me go up and give you an example, because if for some reason, let's see here. Say that they're not even here, and you're going to come back and we're going to see that in just a little bit, like what mistake can happen. And all right, so we'll come back to that. Now, if for some reason your L1 and L2, if these columns, see how it says L3 and L4 and L5, when you first press stat and enter, if it's gone for some reason, these are the buttons you want to press. You want to press stat, 5, and then enter, and it can reset it for you and bring those columns back. Next, after we graph the points, I'm going to go back for a second because I want to go through and make sure it's the correct way. It's 309. Okay, but let me just stress to you right here that these columns have to be the same, otherwise it's going to give you an error. Okay, so right here, turning on our stat plot, they call it the long way. I mean, I don't know, it just depends. I normally do this first way. But we can go up here and you can go second, y equals, see how it says plot 1 off? Well, we need that on, so we'll press enter, enter. Okay, so now your stat plot is turned on. The other way you can do it is by just going to y equals right here. See how that plot 1 is on? If I wanted to turn it off, I could arrow up there and just press enter. Now it's not highlighted. Well, if I wanted to turn on my stat plot, I can go up there and just press enter. It does the same thing. Both of these things do the same thing. So again, I would pause my screen, make sure you have your notes and know how to do this, and then come back and play the video. Next, to see our graph, see, because right now, if I press graph, I don't see anything. Well, that's because my graph here goes from 0 to 10 and negative 10 to 0. See, this is just a 10 graph. Well, in the points I put in there, yeah, these are between 0 and 10, but these are way, way higher. So that's why you don't see it. Now, that's because of these window settings. See how it says negative 10, 10. This is the smallest x number, the largest x number. X scale means what each one of those lines are going by. Like, are you graphing by 1s? Are you graphing by 5s, 10s? Y minimum, negative 10. Now, you can go through and change them by looking at your information, or right now you can press zoom. See zoom right there? and the number 9, which they went, I'll go up here to it. There it is. Press zoom 9 and it'll show your graph. And it'll automatically give you your window settings. See, because now when you press window, there's your window settings. That would always work. So again, let's write this down. To see your graph, you'd press zoom 9. Now if, again, let me go back here to my graph. If you want to see your windows, because it asks you what X minimum and X maximum is, I can press that right there, and there's your window settings. Okay, to get your window, I guess there it is, to get your window, you can press window. Okay. Next, to clear your list and to enter new data. So instead of going through and clearing your clearing the memory each time, which does work, it just takes battery power, you can go in there and you go up right here. You go up to where it says L1, okay, by using your enter key, and you press clear and enter. I guess clear and the down arrow key works too, but do not press delete. Look, there's a difference between clear and delete. Delete is bad. If you go into the stat plot right here and you go up and you press delete, enter, it will take away all of L2 and it will go away, and then you'd have to go back to that other one where you had that, where it showed if they didn't have L1 into L2, how to put those back in your table. So you'll want to go up here to there and you'll press clear and enter. Arrow over, go up, clear. I see the down arrow key they said worked. Oh, it sure does. So right here, so you'd go through and you'd be able to clear your list, and then you could enter new data and be able to graph it. Okay, so let's try this one right here. So you can pause the video and come back and see if you're able to put the data in there, and follow me as I do it. Okay, so in L1, I'm going to put the average temperature. So let me go back here for a second. I'm going to go stat, enter, and I'll go 80, 83, 85, 90, 92, 92, 95, 95, 100, 98. All right, now I'm going to go to the other one. I've got 75, 100, 90, 150, 100, 250, 325, 280, 450, 325. Okay, first thing, see how they're even? Make sure they're even. Now, you're going to want to go to y equals again. Make sure that plot 1 is on. Second y equals. Make sure it says plot 1 on. If I press graph, I don't see anything. Well, that's because I need to go back up here and I need to press zoom 9, and there's my graph. Now, if you look at this graph, what kind of correlation does it have? From left to right, the points, I mean, it doesn't go in an exact straight line, but it all seems to be going from left to right and going up. This is a positive correlation. To find out your window settings, just press window. Now look, see what these window settings is the X minimum. If you look in this, the smallest X number I have is 80. As long as on your X minimum, it's any number smaller than 80, you would be okay for your X minimum. X maximum, 102. Well, that's because this is maximum. The largest number is 100. Pick a number that's bigger than 100. 102. X scale means it's going by ones. Now, Y minimum, the smallest Y number, actually, if you look, the smallest one is 75. I could go down here. Oh, maybe I'll put in there 50. And then the largest one, 513. Let's see, what's the largest one? Is 450. Let's put in there 500 just for fun. I could go up here and maybe I'll put 0 in right there. Now press graph. See, it's all off to the side. When you press zoom 9, it just makes it look like a nice picture. Okay, let's try the next one. Now, do you remember how to clear your list? I would go to stat, enter, go up to my list, press clear, and enter. Let's go back over here. Go up to L1, clear, and enter. Now, let's put these in there. 0, 0. Now, if you're not pausing the video, don't try and do it with me. Try and do it by yourself, because that's the only way you're going to be able to do this on your tests. let's see, I'm at 2, 3, 4.5, 5. Okay, let's arrow over. I've got 92, 100, 89, 82, 90, 95, 85, 70, 80, 65, 55, 58. Now make sure they're even, and they are. So now, let's go to y equals. Make sure your stat plot is on. It's highlighted. Second y equals, I'm going to double check, plot 1 on. Yep. Press graph. Well, I don't see anything. Remember, you got to zoom. Zoom 9. There's your graph. Now, looking at these points, is this going to give you a positive or negative correlation or no correlation? Well, if you look from left to right, the lines are going down. That is a negative correlation. Now to find your window settings, you press window. There you go. Let's go and try the next one. Okay, well, you know what, let me test you. Clear your memory on your calculator right now. Second plus 7, 1, 2. We're going to start all the way from the beginning. Let's start with RAM cleared. Okay, so now pause the video and try and go through the steps to be able to answer these. Stat, enter. I'm going to put the temperature into L1, tickets into L2. So I have 80, 83, 85, 90, 92, 92, 95, 95, 100, 98, arrow over to the side, 5, 3, 10, let's see here, 2, 18, 9, 6, 13, 1, 11. There we go. Even numbers, yes. I press graph. I don't see anything. You don't have to press graph. If you remember second y equals, see how it says plot 1 off? Press enter, enter. Now when we do it, it says plot 1 is on. Y equals, see how it's highlighted? Press graph. Still don't see anything. Remember, these numbers are too big. Press zoom 9. There they are. They're all over the place. My window settings are right there. But when I press graph, what kind of correlation does this have? It has no correlation because the number of tickets has nothing to do with the temperature normally. Well, let's see here. I think I have another one that we can practice. Yes, here's our next one. Why don't you go in there? Let's clear our information. Remember, stat enter. Go up, press clear, enter. Go over here, go up, go clear, enter. Okay, why don't you put in this information and try and graph it and figure out what kind of correlation it has. 4, 9, 3, 5, 8, 2, 7, 10, 6, 3, 1, 2, and 12. Okay, we've got 45, 50, 50, 55, 60, 65, 65, 70, 70, 75, and then they got 3 80s here. All right, I wish there was a duplicate button. That'd be easier on me right now. Make sure that these are the same amount. See how they're even. Go to y equals. My plot 1 is on. I press graph. I don't see anything. So let's go zoom 9. Voila. Oh, and if I want my window settings, press window. But when I look at my graph, what is going on? It's all over the place. Well, it's a little bit hard to see here, but it's talking about the birth month and adult's height. Do they have anything to do with each other? No, so this is no correlation. All right, let's go back up here. Here's some information. Why don't you pause this video and see if you can put that in the calculator. Now let's do this. Let's just for practice, let's go up here and let's clear the memory. Second plus 7, 1, 2. Okay, now go through and enter your information and then turn on your stat plot and be able to graph it and find your window settings and what type of correlation. Press stat, enter. 2.5, 1.5, 1, 20, 10, 5, 2.5, 1, 15 it looks like, 4, 5, and 1. Arrow over. We've got 10, 6, 4, 80, 40, 20, 10, 4, 60, 16, 20, and 4. Okay, again, make sure they're even, and they are. Go to y equals. See, plot 1 is not on, so let's go up there and I can press enter. See if I go second y equals and double check. See now how it says plot 1 on? I press graph. I only see a few points. Okay, so if I only see a few points, what is wrong? What do I need to do now to be able to see all these points? I need to change my window settings. The way you do that, I'm going to press zoom 9. Now I see all of them. What kind of correlation does it have to do with total miles and total gasoline? The line from left to right is going up. That is a positive correlation. If you wanted to find the window settings, you'd press window, and there they are. Let's go back. Let's clear our memory. I know normally you don't do that. You just clear your list. But I want you to clear your memory so that we can have more practice on going through the steps. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go with total unexcused absences and test scores. Pause the video and try and put it in your calculator and come back and see how you do. Press stat and enter. And then I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to press 5, 2, 0, 1, 8, 3, 0, 1, 4, 3, do I get it? I don't think so. There we go. 3, 6, 7, 9, and 10. Enter. Let's go back over here. I've got 60, 74, 84, 79, 40, 61, 98, and 90, 50, 70, 45, 30, 20, and 15. Make sure they're even. They are even. So we're going to go second y equals, plot 1 is off, enter, enter. See now, it's on. You can tell that here because it's highlighted. Press graph. I don't see anything. How come I don't see anything? I have to fix my window settings. So I'm going to press zoom 9. Looking at this picture, what kind of correlation is there between unexcused absences and test scores? The line from left to right is going down. It is a negative correlation. Well, think about that. The more unexcused absences, what happens to your test scores? They go down. One goes up, one goes down. That means it's going to be a negative correlation. If you wanted to find your window settings, you'd press window, and there they are. Hopefully this will help you when you're trying to put your information in the calculator.